So a few days ago I hit level 10,000 in the Division 2. okay, not really, but I got access to play the summit with the title update 11 stuff with this mega boosted character. Worth to note though, I guess, is that the build we played was an earlier build than the version that's gonna be on the PTS today, so some things might have changed. Anyway, in this video I will focus on the new PvE game mode called the Summit, and probably a lot of you guys know as a Skyscraper. I will have another video up later covering everything else that I played, such as new gear that coming with title update 11, so make sure you subscribe and put notifications on so you don't miss that video. In this video I will go through everything I know and all the info I got from playing this new PvE game mode, such as first impressions, what it is, how it works, the good and the bad, and how to improve it, and so on. If that sounds interesting, then let's get started. So to start the video off, what is the Summit? So the Summit is a new free PvE game mode for Warlords owners coming with TU11 that's supposed to offer unlimited replayability. If you ever played Division 1, it's quite similar to Underground and Resistance, also a bit similar to Kenley College in Division 2 I guess, but it's not really like those modes though. So it's a big skyscraper with 100 floors. The higher up the skyscraper you get, the harder the difficulty gets. Each floor being randomly generated with different factions, objectives, and so on. So even though you might have played floor 10 before, it's not gonna be the same next time you get there. The Summit do scale for groups, so you could play this solo or be in a full group. I soloed this with ease and I stopped around floor 84. All the floors follow the same type of formula except every 10th floor, which is more like a boss floor, the boss being a random named enemy. I found the boss floor to be super underwhelming. I was hoping and expecting some real bosses with mechanics in the rotation, but there was none of that. Just having a named enemy with one random mechanic that's already in the game would do wonders, I believe. You could use stuff from bosses already in the game, such as like the bosses from Warlords. I think Stronghold type of bosses would be perfect. I'm mainly thinking about Union Arena, having that tank boss there on Legendary. Something similar, maybe even a bit more simplified with maybe only one mechanic. I think that would just be way better than just having a random named NPC. I feel like that feels a bit lazy, and I would rather like to see random named NPCs on the other floors and yeah, actually have real bosses on every 10th floor. Because the current named one is just super boring. I would just burst them down like a normal NPC, especially me soloing. They were really easy. I would even wait for like a minute just to see if they would do anything special, but they didn't do anything, so I was quite disappointed with that. So as far as I understand it, every time you clear a boss floor, you will get a checkpoint that you can always go back to. Otherwise, when you're playing a session and if you wipe, there should be a checkpoint on every floor until you hit heroic, and then you will only have one at 3rd and 7th floor if I remember correctly. But I did wipe at legendary at like floor 88 or 87, and I got all the way back to 81, so I don't know if that's not working correctly in this build. So I guess we have to wait to see on the PTS. So we take a look at the floor layout a bit. So 1 to 10, it starts off with normal difficulty, with only cleaners and Rikers being a possibility to fight. At 11 to 20, it's hard difficulty with way more factions to fight, as you can see here. 20 to 30, it's challenging. 31 to 40 is also challenging, but they're adding one random directive to the mix, and that's all the directives that we have in the game right now. 41 to 50, also challenging, but this time around there's 3 different random directives. At 50, it becomes heroic with respawn restricted, as I talked about before. 61 to 70 is heroic with 1 random directive. 70 to 80, heroic with 3 random directives. And 81 to 90 is legendary, and this is only White Tusk. And 91 to 99 is legendary with 4 directives. And floor 100 is unknown. So I guess we do have a surprise to come there. I will be live streaming this on twitch.tv/widdz, and probably at the time you're actually watching this video. And I will try to get to floor 100, so if you want to see that, you could join the stream. But that's basically the 1 to 100 layout. Keep in mind, rogue agents and loot goblins can randomly spawn as well. I believe I got my first rogue agents at floor 61, and they seem to work the exact same way as the other parts in the game. Nothing new there really. I never got loot goblins though, but that is something they are planning to add, I heard. I really do hope that they add more stuff like that though, because it makes it feel less repetitive and something to be excited about when it happens. Imagine having like a few more random rare encounters like the rogue agents. I think that would be great. They could, for example, add hunters to that list, but having them extremely rare. And I don't know, like more stuff like that would just be amazing to see. They also do have loot rooms on random floors. I think there was always a loot room before the boss floor, so every like 9th floor that you would reach. I don't really understand why you would get access to a loot room before the so-called boss floor. It would make more sense to have it on the same floor, so you can get it after you defeat the boss in the room. But I guess that would make it a bit harder with the randomly generated layouts, and having it on like, for example, 70, 80, 90 would not work because those are the floors that you actually start at. So I guess I understand why they have it on the floor before. But still, there was also 1 to 2 before you hit the boss though, and I think they were connected to the checkpoint floors if I remember correctly. For the big loot rooms though, you need a summit key which you get from defeating the named boss on every 10th floor. So you can't open it without a key. So that's why I kind of think it makes sense to have it after the boss. But since it is a key, I guess it doesn't really matter. In terms of rewards though, the build I played was really early and the rewards have not been tuned or anything. So I can't really say anything about the rewards, but hopefully we get a better look at that on the PTS. But I think that explains the summit pretty well. So let's move forward here and talk about my first impression and experience, and a little bit more in depth about the summit. So the first 50 floors until heroic felt super easy, and it already felt repetitive at 50 floors, which is not a good thing since this is supposed to be unlimited replayability. I got to heroic and it was still really easy, and I think I completed floors 71 to 80 in like 30 minutes, which was way faster than some of my previous 10 floors I did. I was just running a SMG build and basically just speedrunning it. After defeating a boss, you unlock the floors forever, so you could go back to every first floor of each, like floor 11, floor 31, floor 51, and so on, as long as you cleared it before. So I think that is really good, so you can choose whatever difficulty you're feeling. Something that would be pretty fun to have as well, that I don't think would be too hard to implement, is the ability to go beyond level 100. So you would basically be able to go to infinity levels like you could in Resistance. The purpose of that would just be to challenge yourself and not to farm like super efficient. Just have everything the same as before, but like every floor after 100 they will get more HP and more damage. And I think that would be pretty fun to just challenge yourself and see how far you can get. And it once again reminds me of Diablo 3 with Global Rifts, where people could push to go as high as possible. Going back to it feeling repetitive really fast, I think one of the issues being that most of the rooms looks almost the same in terms of themes and colors, and there also wasn't enough of them in the rotation pool, so you would get used to the rooms really quick. I was hoping for more different theme ones and a few unique ones, like the party room and the bank room that Underground had in Division 1. Like, it was always exciting when you got that. I think it's important to have way more rooms that gives you a different feeling, and especially having a few rare, like cooler floors to get you a bit excited. If we talk a little bit about encounters, so there was 3 different encounters, plus just basic kill all the NPCs in the room. I did hear that they are supposed to add more though, so I'm not sure when that will happen. Maybe that's already a thing in the PTS, I don't know. So talking about the encounters that this build had, we had the hacked terminals, and I'm not really a fan of this one. So there's like 2 to 4 terminals that can spawn if I remember correctly. So you just go to one terminal, use the PC, stand in the circle till it hits 100, and you go to the next one. Pretty straightforward. Not too bad or annoying, but is it really that interesting? I don't really think so. Then we have the server encounter with the robot dogs, and this one I'm actually a fan of. So the same thing here, 2 to 4 servers will spawn on random spots on the floor with the same amount of robot dogs, 1 dog being assigned to each server. All the robot dogs are immune till you destroy the server it's connected to. So if you destroy server 1, the robot dog that are assigned to that server can take damage as well. If you destroy all of the servers, all the robot dogs will die. So that was the play I went for. This was the only room I really felt that could be a bit hard sometimes, even though most of the times it went super smooth. Then we have the third one, which is the air filter encounter, which was a room that would get filled with poison that would damage you. The longer the time would go, the more it would fill the room, and you would take more and more damage. You would have to localize a PC and shut it off. However, this was a bit bugged or not complete, so a lot of the times I couldn't find the actual PC to shut it off. Maybe it didn't even exist. I don't really know because I couldn't find it. Since we played on a really early build, I guess that's fine and this is gonna be fixed for the PTS. But whenever this one worked, I actually really did like this encounter. Sadly, the footage I have here is probably not the greatest to show it off, since as I said, like, it didn't really work most of the times. So because of that, I did swap strategy and I just killed all the ads as soon as I could, so it would clear the encounter anyway without shutting the PC off. So that's all the special encounters it had. Other than that, it was just to clear rooms of ads, which I definitely like and is something that I personally want for a mode like this. It will be nice and more refreshing when they add more encounters though. Hopefully they could just take ones that already exists in the game, such as hostage scenarios, having like time-based scenarios, chase scenarios, and the list goes on what they could add. As of now, there is too little, and it once again makes it feel a bit repetitive. Something else that I would like is to see more NPCs to fight at the same time. But I know there is sadly a performance limitation for that, and that's the reason why we don't fight more NPCs at the same time in Division, sadly. So in terms of loot and rewards, that wasn't implemented in the version I played, but I really do hope that they add some type of target loot where you could choose whatever brand or weapon category to drop. And this would work with a currency system or something similar to prevent you to spam this activity 24/7 and not playing the rest of the game. And having a system like that would make this mode be something I could see myself farming very often. As I went through earlier though, they do have loot rooms that requires a key to open the box, so I really hope they could use those boxes to have target loot of your own choice in, with keys dropping from the boss, plus adding a random chance for them to drop from any NPCs, so you get more than 1 per 10 floors, aiming to get like 2 to 3 keys per 10 floors, so you can open the chest almost every time you reach a loot room. I think it would be a huge mistake to not do something like this, and with the key and boxes already implemented, I really do hope they capitalize on that. So to wrap the video up, let's end it with my final thoughts and conclusions so far. I'm really happy seeing what they're trying to do here with the game mode, since Division 2 really need a game mode like this, and if it's made right, it could be something to play all the time when there's stuff to farm for. However, I feel like this is still really early in production and it needs a bit more time. I think releasing it like this is a mistake, and it wouldn't surprise me if it turns out the same as Underground, Resistance and Kenley College. You play it in the beginning, but a few months later nobody touches it, and that would really suck because this had a potential to be a big staple for the future of Division that you will always come back to play when updates comes out. So I really do hope that they keep building up on this mode and don't give up on it, because what I played in this early build, it feels halfway done, but hopefully the new build on PTS will be much improved. Anyway, I think I will end the video here. I feel like this script just went all over the place. It was really hard to write this for some reason, but I hope it all made sense though. I will be streaming the PTS when it comes out today, so I hope to see you on my stream at twitch.tv/widdz, and we will try to clear the summit all the way up to floor 100 to see what they have up there. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Division 2 content. See you guys in the next one. He have like fire bullets. That was a lot of explosions, what the fuck? So we got 1 key there. There we go. Floor 80 cleared. Easy busy.
You're kicking this building's ass.
Yeah, I am.
More munitions, you can come back to Haven. This is a safe zone.
So what, 40 minutes? Hella fast.